and oar regattas, among other activities. When I play the game of the NLA, I can see where my money goes, and it's an investment into our culture.
Yes, Grenada, when you play the games of the NLA, you enable us to invest in the skills and talents of our people in the areas of sports, culture, and nation building.
Another MTV Community Forum. I'm your host, Byron Campbell, and of course, co-host Chris Diardi. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Byron. Good evening to our viewers. A pleasure to have you back on our program this evening.
Chris, our talk shop here. Chris, the first thing I want to start with, Chris, is cricket, West Indian cricket. I mean,
why are you starting with such a depressing topic?
Well,
you understand? That 27 runs. 7 men falling for duck. That is not something to discuss. That is something to, I don't know. You know,
but Chris, but this is what happened there is probably more symptoms of the problem. That may not be the problem itself, what you see in there, that the team failed. Question is why it failed. This is where we have to go, Chris. And let me raise these points. Firstly, can it be matters of management? Matters because you know there's a West Indies Academy where cricketers are trained and schooled. What's the status of this? Is it regional issues, Chris? There's also a Players Association that negotiating with management on a lot of matters, salary and other issues, working conditions. The board, what's the status of the board? So don't just look at the players and the performance you saw there. There could be other issues that affecting the team.
Byron.
West Indian cricket, that is.
Yes. Byron. Yeah. Since Clive Lloyd days and Vivian Richards and Lara to a certain extent, this team, West Indies team, it is various changes with players and whatever, have been failing miserably in all types of competition. They won the T20 thing a few years ago, and that has been the best achievement so far as I can recall.
Yeah.
Test cricket, they have been deplorable, and one day they're up and down. So, yes, you could say that there is issues of administration. Salary came up one time, and so on. But I still believe in Clive Lloyd and them days, salary wasn't an issue. Men were playing for pride and to be proud to be representing the West Indies against the likes of the Australian, the English, and the Indians and New Zealanders. So it was a pride thing. You get the sense now, and I could be wrong, I'm not a big cricket person in that sense. You get a sense now that our players seem to be more motivated by money than the pride factor. And I use the fact that when they go and they play in the IPL, the Indian League with T20, where they are paid handsomely, you see the effort, a greater effort there than when they're playing for us. So you have to say the motivation has changed over the years. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it from the point of view that players and professionalism in sports have changed over the decades. Basketball, you can look at all the big professional sports. And it's a lot about money. But at the same time, you have to, even though pretend you're giving the effort to fight. And some of us seem to not have that, and we collapsing and we just, everybody fall into the
No, but it could have been a moral issue too, Chris. You remember, know that Joseph, the Guyanese, was accused recently of some sexual accusation, and that also could have had an effect on the morale of the team.
Over the last 20 years?
No, I'm talking about now.
No, well, we've been fighting the last 20 years to come out of this rut. What are you talking about, Byron? 20 years we've been fighting to come out of this rut and we don't seem to be coming out. We changed board, we changed presidents, we changed players, we changed selection team, we changed a number of things and nothing seemed to be coming out. So then it has to be a joint responsibility between the players and the management. I'm not saying none of the men had to take blame, but at the end of the day, you know what this has caused? The cause of this and the effect of this lack of play and winning and so on, the crowd in the West Indies do not want to support West Indies. They don't have the backing as they used to have in the past. I remember as a young teenager, you're getting up 2 o'clock in the morning, put on your shortwave radio to listen to a match being played in India or Australia. You don't have that kind of excitement anymore around cricket in the Caribbean.
So this big investment, the other thing I want to raise is that here we have a case that where the manager of the team is from the islands, the coach is from the islands, and Gil, so we see the management, how are the big islands, the Trinidad, they're not involved, Jamaica, Barbados, we're not seeing the kind of presence that they had previously at this time.
And I don't know if they had presence if it would have changed anything, because they had presence before and nothing changed.
Yeah.
So now that is the islands doing it, know, that is fine.
So the fact that we have this significant investment at Queen's Park, we just spent $10 million, US dollars probably, to renovate it and to further equip it. It's going to be a white elephant.
Well, how much people was in the park for the test match? If it crossed 5,000 and you tell me.
No.
But that's the point.
No.
And again, you have to contend, cricket has to contend with test match. I know the cricket lovers will say test match must continue.
Yeah.
But for the average man who going to see a match, see a cricket game, they want a result in a day. You can get that with one day international, you can get that with T20.
50 overs.
Yes, and you will see the crowd participation, especially with day-night cricket. You will see the level of...
So we're getting the lights, I'm understanding, at Queen's Park.
We've been saying that about 7 years.
No, but the Minister of Sport clearly gave a commitment and said...
The last Minister of Sport, Mr. Nolan Cox, been saying that all the time. So until I see it erected, let me move on.
Yes, okay, fine. Chris, there were, we had a fire in Busheju last week. Reports are that I think maybe 3 families were affected, but they have reports that the fire trucks were unable to respond in a timely manner due to traffic or persons parking on the roads.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're listening...
And you have spoken about this before, Chris, about parking on the roads.
And I think this is just the start of the many issues that we're going to face with the parking on the side of the road. Here it is, we have one of the residents in the area that was interviewed that said the fire engine could not get access close enough to the fire to do what they had to do.
Yeah.
One person said they come without water and they needed to have a fire hydrant. The fire engine has never moved without water.
Yeah.
But is the access. And if you have vehicles passing on both sides of the road, the fire attendants is not no little vehicle. And they can't access because they go mash up vehicle or be in accidents.
Yeah.
You know, you have to ask yourself, how are we going to deal with these emergencies that will come up with fires? But what about the medical ones? Where the ambulances need to get access to a place to pick up a patient who is in a severe condition, bring them to a hospital, and when they trying to get the vehicles on both sides of the road.
Chris, these individuals pay their taxes, their license. So they pay for the operations of the vehicle. They buy fuel, government tax them on. So they contribute to the economy. They were given license to operate a vehicle. They're going to tell you we have nowhere else to park it. Where are they going to put it, Chris?
Maybe where they going to put it.
Well, I'm asking you. There's nowhere else to put it.
License to drive a vehicle on the road and having insurance is by law.
Yeah.
They have to follow the law. But there's also a law that says your vehicle are not to be parked on the side of the road on the Grenada Public Road.
You sure about that?
I'm sure about that. So if you're acceding to laws on 2 aspects and you're violating the third one, what do you expect?
But where am I going to park the vehicle? If you look at Brizan, for example, or Molinier,
well, yes,
you want to put it in
you can take everywhere, Monjaloo, Marian, all about have the problem. The government has to have the political will to say, unless you come into me to get a vehicle to buy and license and so on, you have to provide me with a place where you could park the vehicle off the road. Starting now, because the problem is going to get worse. When the volume of vehicles, we landed 300 vehicles in the last month, 90% of them brand new. is not used, and when the Prime Minister gets up and talk about you want to move the thing from 10 years to 5 years, how that's stopping the congestion? That is stopping the congestion.
Because they just bring new vehicles.
Yeah,
that's
but
all.
even the used car dealers bringing in new vehicles.
That's correct.
So what are we talking about?
That's correct.
The
That's correct.
real solution has to be affect the law.
Yeah.
The law says you are not to park your private vehicle on the side of the road. And we're seeing the effects of it now.
Clearly. So, Chris, but still with traffic, I was hearing, the executives from the Bus Owners Association is saying that they have finally reached agreement with government because they were asking for
Concessions.
rate increases first. The government said, no, let's discuss concessions. So they'll be getting, but you must be a member of one of the associations to qualify. So they're getting, I think they've had 2 payments already, refund on their fuel. And of course, that would also go to parts. So that's a good thing. But it's a 1-year agreement, I'm to understanding that in a year it would be renegotiated. And this is with the Transport Commission. So that's a good thing. Let's see.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
anything that you could do to release or relieve the
Yeah.
cost of living burden on people.
Yeah.
Transport is a big one.
Yeah.
Because if the busmen were to increase their fares from $2.50 to $3 or $4, and I always argue about there's never proper justification on how those fares are increased and the magnitude.
Yeah.
That being set aside, though, you must find a way to try and not make cost of living more for the average man. But I also believe that government needs to also take the route of growing public transport.
Yeah.
Or by not have the entire transport owned by private individuals. That never works in my view from the standpoint that you lose control and you cannot do certain things that you would like to do. And public transport in your country is a major thing that you need to control and make sure it's available. And I believe that we need to marry, or we need to put alongside private control public transport, as we're doing now with the pilot project with the school children.
With the school children, I haven't seen a report on
Yeah.
it, but it'd be interesting to know how that's been going. And
So-
so that's a good, excellent initiative, by the way.
Yes, and we need to encourage that and promote
yeah,
that, and the
yeah.
use of EVs in public transport, so the cost could go down.
Go down. Yeah.
Right? So it's not only about the concessions, you have to look to change your mindset as well.
Yeah.
And if you were to put public transports in hybrid or EVs, and you get people to change that. Remember, in an EV, you don't have to worry about oil change, you don't have to worry about gas, all you have to worry about is brakes and tire.
That's suspension and so on too, the mechanical
Right.
aspect.
But
of
I
it.
mean, outside
you don't
of
have
that,
an engine.
in Trinidad,
Yeah.
their entire transport, public transport is run on hybrid.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so their costs have gone, they use CNG.
Okay.
Right?
What's that? Explain that.
It's natural gas.
Okay, natural gas.
Yeah,
Okay.
compressed natural gas.
Compressed natural gas.
So they use that because they have a lot of that in
Okay.
Trinidad. So they use that and it burns cleaner. So the footprint is less because the biggest violators of CO2 emissions in the country is transport and Grand Lake. And that is one of the things we have to find a way to reduce.
Chris, viewers, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Fit for Life and Allied Laboratories, providing quality care and expertise. Fit for Life and Allied Laboratories, see our in-house doctors and our pharmacies. Get expert care and quality tests. When it comes to your health, you deserve the best. Fit for Life and Allied Laboratories, we're taking care of Grenada.
Parties Enterprise and Hardware Limited, your #1 hardware store in Carriacou. We provide a wide range of building and furnishing supplies. We have a wide range of tiles, bathtubs, refrigerators, and much more. We also have the best in lumber and other building construction needs: cement, steel, steel rods, water tanks, concrete blocks for your projects that will last, and much, much more. We are now your leading supplier of pet accessories. Looking to complete your dream home? Make Paddy's Enterprise your one-stop shop. We also stock electrical and plumbing supplies and a wide range of tools. Thinking of outfitting your patios? Check us out for the best in rattan furniture. We also provide the best customer service with our professional staff. So check us out today at Upper Patterson Street or contact us at 443-8210. Paddy's Enterprise and Hardware Limited, helping you build your dream home from start to finish. Summer is officially here, and MTV and Fusion FM is ready to bring you all the elements of Spice Mass with Carnival Pulse. From July 28th to August 8th, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, it will be vibes and musical energy on television and radio. Carnival Pulse will get you ready for the most anticipated summer festival. Something pulsating is about to happen. Don't miss out.
Welcome back, viewers. You're here on MTV Community Forum. Chris, the last administration, a couple of years ago, spent, I believe, $5 million to, it was a grant maybe from the Taiwanese. I'm not sure the financing where
Not
it
the
came
Taiwanese,
from.
Republic of China and Taiwan.
Republic of China.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't make that mistake.
Okay, right. Republic of China. I believe were the financiers, but a modern health facility in Guelph, and this I know was intended to provide health services for the Western Corridor, that is parts of St. Patrick's, St. Mark's, St. John's. Beautiful facility. We've been getting several reports on its status, that at one time it was equipped, the equipment was removed. But I understand, however, there's some services being provided there, not to the extent. So I know you don't have maternity wards and you don't have overnights, but I understand they still have 24-hour service. You can go there on a 24-hour basis. I learned this, so that's a fact. But in terms of, I don't know where X-rays and other facilities are and what else they provide, but residents say they're not getting the kind of service that generally they still need to go to the general hospital.
You know, Byron, when that facility was being built, that concern was raised. I was in Parliament at the time. And the concern was...
Explain that. You're in Parliament as a senator representing the private sector.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it was raised from the point of view of the resourcing of the facility, both human and from an equipment point of view. So you have a lovely hospital, well designed and built, but here we are now, after, I don't know if it's 5 years or seven, between 5 and 10 years, that we cannot fully resource the facility. And remember, the idea of having the Western Corridor, Guelph, Victoria, and some parts you could say for Saturdays being serviced, is to reduce the volume of traffic coming to the general hospital and to save lives. If you have an emergency situation, instead of driving from Guelph or Victoria to St. George, the patient might die. So here you are, you have this facility, they're minutes away from minutes from in Guelph is right there, from Victoria is minutes, and we cannot resource the facility properly with doctors, with equipment, x-rays and all that is needed. Yes, they may have 24 hours service for certain emergencies and certain basic things that could be done, but nothing outside of that.
No.
And I could understand the frustrations that people in Victoria and Guelph and to some extent about this. And here we're talking now of going and do a major project called Polaris, spending millions of dollars, hundreds of millions.
You have a problem with that, Chris?
No, I have a problem with it from the standpoint that if we cannot source and resource our current facilities, why are we going into this larger facility from the so here, what happens when people, we're trying to resource this, remember we don't have NHI. NHI have not come in and we've been told now NHI is 5 years away.
No, not 5 years, Chris. The Minister of Finance, Minister of
Health.
said in 24 months.
2 years away.
Yes.
I correct
by that
myself.
time.
I apologize.
Right.
2 years
Okay,
away.
fine. Yeah.
So, but remember, we're talking NHI now 3-4 years before, you know. So
True.
NHI is
Why is it
5
taking
years
so
and is
long, though?
speaking
You know,
and
so-
talking, and that's the point. We changed
Yeah,
consultants.
the consultants.
we
And so we
changed-
lost a lot of money in that process.
Correct,
Keep that
correct.
in
And
mind.
If we can't get NHI yet up and running, and we're thinking about building another facility, how is people going to pay to receive the attention they need to get?
Okay, what the Minister of Health said, and he talked about that, because you know they have the Mount Sinai is operated as a consultant. I think they're earning $2.5 million US dollars a year as a consultant. But one of the things I understand they're focused on is the statutorization of the health facility. And what the minister said is that, again, the same timeline, 18 months thereabout, that this will happen. And he says that this will, in effect, result in the facility being affordable. I don't know.
I don't know how statutorization makes things affordable. I think statutorization
or the
gives you-
efficiency services, all of this will.
That doesn't necessarily
will-
happen with
will improve.
statutorization. I
Will
mean,
get better.
statutorization is have a board in place. The board have a mandate from the government and the minister on what needs to operate. Remember, you know, Byron, medical care, and let me clarify that. Good, proper medical care is not cheap. Anyhow you take it.
Wherever it is.
Wherever it is. A simple blood test, and depending on the complexity of the test need to be done, could run you anywhere between $120, $100 to $200.
That's a basic.
And
yeah?
that's the basic things
Yeah.
to understand and to get a proper diagnosis of what is
Yeah.
going on. So it is not cheap, and hence you need a backup of insurance to help the average person deal with the cost of what you're going to do. So I'm still not sold on the idea that a new facility will change overnight and give us a miracle in the health sector. When we have facilities that we cannot resource and we cannot manage properly to get proper health care to the average man. Sorry, I'm not sold yet.
You're not sold yet.
No. Probably I will get sold later, I don't know.
I mean, think about it. 87, almost 90 acres of land put aside. You're looking at 240 modern beds, serving also international clients and local persons. And so it's a health tourism. Look at the big picture, Chris.
I'm looking at the
Yeah.
small picture before I go to the big. We're still running out of medication in a general hospital,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So if we can't meet that, we still have x-rays working but breaking down. We don't have a proper preventative maintenance program in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
So if we can't solve these low-hanging fruits, how the big picture is going to be solved? Sorry, I'm not
You're
sold
asking
yet.
me that question?
No,
Chris?
I just,
Okay.
I'm speaking out aloud. So
Yeah.
I'm not sold yet. I just saying that's why I'm not sold as yet.
Yeah, you're not
I'm
sold.
not saying I wouldn't be, but I'm just saying I'm not sold as yet.
Chris, solar lights. Let me say something about solar lights.
Right.
I see this being erected in different parts of the island, and I think it's a good thing. I see it along beaches, for example, along Grand Mall beaches, for example, on the west coast and other parts of the island, the Carinae, different places. And this, in terms of the cost of electricity, because it's natural, natural sunlight providing the energy. And I think this is a good way to go. But we have a problem, Chris. There are reports that some of these lights are being taken away.
Stolen. Say the right word. We have, Grenadians sometimes disappoint you.
Stolen. Okay.
Why would you want to steal a street light that is powered by solar and lighten up the place so that you could get better security, you could walk along the road and it's not deadly dark and this kind of thing. So, and I am told in my little research that you may steal a solar light and you can't use it because it have a code that comes with the light itself. Right? And if you don't have the code, well, probably they are the coders who stealing it. But I could give you an example. In Fort Judy, we have a sign saying this is Fort Judy and so on. We put 2 solar lights on the sign. It was stolen the first time. We repeat it to people like another 2. They steal it a second time. So we put it no more.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just saying, we have a mental thing in Grenada. And when you look at the traffic mirrors, guys will just break the traffic mirrors for no apparent reason. They're coming home drunk one night. They're using it as target practice with their beer bottles and whatever. I mean, there is a lack of national pride in what we have, and they don't give a damn of the cost. Because if you do, then you will not engage in them kind of activities. And it's all about our own safety and our own security, and to operate in a more efficient way. So it puzzles me that our people have a mindset that, the traffic lights, like government told we could do what we want with it. Then we thief it and bring it home and see if we could work. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but it appears something so is going on. You know?
But this is very unfortunate.
It
I
is.
think this is Chris, the Closure Road. You've been hearing about what's happening there is that the whole area. There's a land slippage. No, but there's a land slippage in the area, not just the road.
Both sides.
And apparently there's been some major pipes. The contractor has been saying that bust. I think is 6-inch pipes. These are big pipes, and if they bust and water's been overflowing for hours and days, that would have added to the situation. So we see this entire road has fallen away. So this project that was designed now to reinforce the area is in jeopardy. But and I've heard all sides, persons from the community, the politicians, the caretakers, the representatives, talking about the inconvenience. Well, it's more than inconvenience, but to what extent this could affect livelihoods in the closure area, because that's a farming community. A lot of their business take place in Guelph. They have no access. So it's a major problem, and I wonder to what extent it's being addressed and how it's going to be addressed.
Well, from what I understand, the engineers had indicated that there's a lot of underground water in that particular area. It's not something they didn't know, it's something they know.
Yeah.
But they didn't design probably for the volume of water that flows under the road and subsequently took away the foundations of the road, and then the slides and so happened.
Yeah.
The project have to be redesigned, of course.
Yeah.
And they must cater for all this running water that is free under the road.
Yeah.
And they have to find a way to deal with it. It can be. But in the interim, I heard a politician in the area suggest that they need to engage in shuttle services on both sides of the slide, so that people could at least get movement. It's not just produce, it's their livelihood. I mean, it's not just that. They need to move from home to do things, pay bills, whatever the case may be. So that person suggested that government needs to find a subsidized way of moving people before the slide down to wherever they want to go and after the slide, and see how that works for a time until the engineers is able to give some level of passage through, and with some safety, of course. So it is appearing it's going to be as significant probably as Molineux.
Yeah.
And what is happening there, I know government haven't budgeted for that. So unfortunately, the people in Closure is going to be cut off for a while in movements, simple movements to and from the area, and that is ready, and we know hurricane season.
I understand.
The rain letting up.
I understand the Prime Minister and others would be up there to meet and to look at solution with the community. So we look forward to that.
We might have to divert some funds, some Polaris to put in Closure.
We're going to take a short break on this one, Chris. I'm going to say you suggested this.
That's fine.
We'll be right back.
Laboratories, providing quality care and expertise. Fit for life and allied laboratories. See our in-house doctors and our pharmacies. Get expert care and quality tests. When it comes to your health, you deserve the best. Fit for life and allied laboratories. We're taking care of Grenada.
Parties Enterprise and Hardware Limited, your #1 hardware store in Carriacou. We provide a wide range of building and furnishing supplies. We have a wide range of tiles, bathtubs, refrigerators, and much more. We also have the best in lumber and other building construction needs. Cement, steel rods, water tanks, concrete blocks for your projects that will last, and much more. We are now your leading supplier of pet accessories. Looking to complete your dream home? Make Paddy's Enterprise your one-stop shop. We also stock electrical and plumbing supplies and a wide range of tools. Thinking of outfitting your patios? Check us out for the best in rattan furniture. We also provide the best customer service with our professional staff. So check us out today at Upper Patterson Street or contact us at 443-8210. Paddy's Enterprise and Hardware Limited, helping you build your dream home from start to finish. Summer is officially here, and MTV and Fusion FM is ready to bring you all the elements of Spice Mass with Carnival Pulse. From July 28th to August 8th, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, it will be vibes and musical energy on television and radio. Carnival Pulse will get you ready for the most anticipated summer festival. Something pulsating is about to happen. Don't miss out.
Hold on. Welcome back, viewers. Host Byron Campbell, MTV Community Forum, and Chris Diali, of course, our co-host Chris. Dr. Patrick Antoine, he is the Chief Technical Director of the CARICOM Private Sector Organization.
CPS. Yeah.
CPS. And he was, there's a CARICOM meeting last week. And there was a side event, and he did a presentation on the impact to the region of the U.S. tariffs, that 10%. And he projected that, and they used the data to do that, they didn't just pie in the sky data, that it will cost the region over $500 million US, actually $542 million US annually under this newest imposed, he calls it a reciprocal tariff. A blow, he said, that would threaten decades of economic growth in the region. And you're saying this would affect, in particular, agriculture, food processing, and apparels, clothing. What are the implications for us, though, Chris? That's a bigger question. What are the implications for us?
Our major exports, let's compare ourselves to Trinidad, Jamaica, and Haiti, and Belize, and so on.
Yeah.
That agriculture and agro-processing is a significant part of the exports to the U.S.
Yeah.
The U.S. is implementing this 10% tariff, reciprocal tariff. So our goods going into the market getting 10% more expensive. Essentially, that's what it is. And as Patrick and I indicated by their research, it's going to cost the region $500 million US. So it is not just the goods. Remember, if we can't get a level of volume of stuff going into our market, because based on the market, the U.S. is a huge market. And take, for example, Grace Kennedy that sells a lot of stuff. They go to the Jamaican population in New York and vice versa. If the products get more expensive than American products, there's a possibility that people will shift. And then in our jurisdictions, in unemployment, the company may have to lay off and so on because they have less revenues coming in. From a Grenadian point of view, we are not huge exporters to the U.S. market.
We do fish.
We do fish, and fish is a major thing.
Fish is a major
thing for us.
We do vegetable. We do agricultural products also.
Yeah.
Salsa.
Yeah. So those are the major ones, but not much more than that.
So the big islands like Trinidad, Jamaica are going to be the main ones feeling this.
And Patrick also argued that depending on the margins we have, and that 10%. It could reduce the profitability of the companies, and that has other multiple implications. Some companies may go out of business altogether because the margins are smaller. Right? So they rely on volume. So it's a deeper discussion, and it just says to me that You know, Trump 3.0 doesn't give much care about
2.0.
2.0. Lord,
You want to give him 3?
I don't want to give him 3.
Okay.
2.0 is going to, you know, they are doing things without much care
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the implications.
And
down
it
the
need
road.
analysis. So this work that Patrick, Dr. Antoine did is very important. Chris, well, viewers, we're going to take a break, but I want to tell you when we come back, we have our guest, Dr. Francis Alexis. Of course, he's a distinguished constitutional lawyer, former Attorney General of Grenada, and we're going to talk about constitutional change and, of course, the oath of allegiance in particular, Chris, when he comes back. So,
Yep.
viewers, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have Dr. Francis Alexis Casey to join us. Thank you.
Fit for life and allied laboratories, providing quality care and expertise. Fit for life and allied laboratories, see our in-house doctors and our pharmacies. Get expert care and quality tests. When it comes to your health, you deserve the best. Fit for life and allied laboratories, we're taking care of Grenada.
Parties Enterprise and Hardware Limited, your #1 hardware store in Carriacou. We provide a wide range of building and furnishing supplies. We have a wide range of tiles, bathtubs, refrigerators, and much more. We also have the best in lumber and other building construction needs. Cement, steel rods, water tanks, concrete blocks for your projects that will last, and much, much more. We are now your leading supplier of pet accessories. Looking to complete your dream home? Make Paddy's Enterprise your one-stop shop. We also stock electrical and plumbing supplies and a wide range of tools. Thinking of outfitting your patios? Check us out for the best in rattan furniture. We also provide the best customer service with our professional staff. So check us out today at Upper Patterson Street or contact us at 443-8210. Paddy's Enterprise and Hardware Limited, helping you build your dream home from start to finish. Summer is officially here, and MTV and Fusion FM is ready to bring you all the elements of Spice Mass with Carnival Pulse. From July 28th to August 8th, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, it will be vibes and musical energy on television and radio. Carnival Pulse will get you ready for the most anticipated summer festival. Something pulsating is about to happen. Don't miss out.
Welcome back, viewers, to Community Forum. As we indicated when we went on the break, we have Dr. Alexis, an eminent constitutional lawyer who is moving and going about trying to get the oath of allegiance to your office and to your job function changed as it exists now, because we give allegiance to the king, or before that was to the queen. So Dr. Alexis is here to explain to us why now we could get this change done through the constitutional under Schedule 3, I think it is, Dr. Alexis, where it falls, and how we need a majority in Parliament, I think it's a 2/3 majority in Parliament, to effect the change. And for you viewers to get an understanding of the pros and if there are cons of what this change can do. I know there have been an argument about this is not relevant or it's not so important, why we don't concentrate on more important things. And of course, people have their own opinion. So Dr. Alexis, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much indeed, Senator. I call you Senator.
It's been there so long.
Senator, always a senator.
So, Doc,
And Byron, nice to be
Thank
here
you.
with you. Don't you like your shirt? It's very pretty.
yeah. Thank you, Doc. Tell me about the view that people have, before we get into the details of how the change could be affected and what the change actually is. The view that people have been banting about not legally, but the fact that why push for this change of the Constitution now? Why not concentrate on more important things? The country have more important things to concentrate on, whether it's economically or legally. What is your take on this, and that why do you believe this change can be important for our citizens and the country as a whole?
First of all, let me say again, the Citizens for Constitution Reform, we are a non-governmental, non-partisan civic organization. We have several members. Jerry Edwin, he's a lawyer. Ruggles Ferguson, he's a King's Counsel lawyer. Lady Anandi Trotman Joseph, she's a lawyer, and I have to call her Constitution reformer. Joseph Ewart Lane, a very bright lawyer. Paul Roberts, one of your kind, he's a media worker. And I bring up the rear. Good. Our mission in CCR is to help spread information on the Constitution of Grenada generally, and particularly to move for Constitution reform. So you see, Constitution reform is not a bread and butter issue. It doesn't put bread on the table. Maybe not directly, but especially nowadays where our neighbors to the north are talking about America first, for that matter Canada first, Britain too, home of our Privy Council in our court. They're also saying Britain first now too. So where are we? Are we going to be last in other people's backyard, or are we going to be first in our own front yard? And if the latter, how are we going to do it? What is independence about? This debate is about what is independence. We're celebrating our 51st anniversary year. Independence has to do about promoting your national dignity, your heritage, your culture. Jamaicans are making a lot of money out of appreciation of their own culture. They have a love for the culture, and they are making incomes out of culture, not only at home but across the world.
Yeah.
So, and Gary was making that point at Marlborough House in 1973 May. If you look at the records of the conference, the Independence Conference, he was saying at Marlborough House, you have to, as an emerging nation, grow your culture, not only for your own ethos, but for your own economy too. I see on the TV where women farmers in Grenada are having a hard time. That's part of a lack of our culture. It is no coincidence that the word culture and the word agriculture have the same base at the end. They go together at times. So when you hear some people saying we should concentrate on bread and butter issues, as if culture and education and self-dignity are not matters of bread and butter. Of course they are. You're talking about national development. A constitution has to do with national development. Even the I'll have to call it the preamble to our constitution, it talks about being sensitive to development culturally, economically. It's a diasporic thing, not now physically, but in terms of your development. And it's right here. One may enjoy his economic, social, and political, civil, and cultural rights. So you can't dichotomize the Constitution from the economy. They go together. What then do we in the CCR say? If you're talking in strict constitutionality, on the letter of the law, our sovereign is the head of state, going all the way back to England, because the Governor General represents the king. But ultimately, democratically, in the spirit of the law, the real and true sovereign is the people. Yes, in a formal sense, the sovereign is the head of state. But in the spirit of the law, the sovereign is the people. That's why our preamble starts referring to we the people, we, whereas the people of Grenada. So it's the people of Grenada who are ultimately the sovereign. Therefore, when you conflate both the juridical sovereign and the ultimate sovereign, the conclusion must be that what emerges is Grenada. And that's why our anthem says, "Hail Grenada, land of us, we pledge ourselves to thee." Our national pledge also makes the point that I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the country for which it stands. Now, the odd person out in this threesome of the anthem, the pledge, is the Constitution. Because in the Constitution, if you look at the oath, I have it here, if you go to page 7 of the booklet I just gave you there,
Yeah.
we're going to walk through the booklet tonight. You're not just talking talk. At page 7,
Got it.
the pages are at the bottom. Look at the oath here, oath of allegiance. At the bottom half, I, Byron Campbell, do swear or solemnly affirm that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, his heirs and successors. What we in the CCR are saying is it's a very simple operation. Couldn't be more simple than that. Delete those monarchical words. His Majesty, King Charles III, his heirs and successors. And in their place, put one word, Grenada. It's as very simple as that. And it brings the oath of allegiance in line with the national anthem, Hail Grenada, pledge ourselves to thee. It brings it in line with the pledge.
Yeah.
So I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the country for which it stands. Not only is it simple, makes good constitutional sense.
Doc, here's this. I'm going to intervene here. Critics say, not
Yes.
me,
Yes.
that this wasn't part of the government's NTC campaign mandate. Should a major constitutional change like this be subject to broader public consultation or referendum? Further, how do you respond to those who feel this change has been rushed or done by the back door? Because this is what they say. This is what they're saying, Doc.
I'll take your last question first. It's rush.
Yeah.
This debate about changing the oath began on the 22nd of January 2024. In fact, the idea at the time was to get it in place for the 50th anniversary of independence. There has been no debate on the Constitution of Grenada that has been longer than this debate. Let's go back to independence. It's 1972. Gary is taking the country into a general election. He says in his manifesto, the basis of all that we do in the GULP is independence for Grenada. There was no debate on that. People voted. It was just a line item.
Yeah.
People just voted. October 1972, Gary goes to England. He says, I made independence an issue. I put it in my manifesto. Everybody is like, what is that? Herbert Blaise is in London, and he is saying at Marlborough House, fast forward to May 1973, this has never been an issue in Grenada. And furthermore, the West Indies Act 1967, which moved the Eastern Caribbean countries, some of us to associated status, onward to independence. Blaise is saying at Marlborough House, if you, Britain, give independence to Gary, you're doing something morally and legally wrong. He uses stronger words than that. He says, you are engaging in an illegality to produce a constitution. And what was he arguing? You should have had a referendum. But when he got a chance in 1984 to become prime minister under the same constitution, did he object? No, he didn't. So my point in CCR, we are saying there has been no single issue in constitution or constitutional reform longer than what has been going on here about the oath, starting since 22nd January 2024.
And Doc, I must give you this because my technical people are able to communicate to me questions that are coming from viewers. And one of them has to do with this, because I'm hearing it on my earpiece, is that you are a KC, you're a King's Council, something that is colonial in essence, and yet on one hand, you are campaigning to remove the monarchy in the oath of allegiance, but at the same time, that you're it's a prestige thing to you to have KC, King's Council, to your name. They say this is a contradiction. Yeah.
What is a KC? What is a QC?
That is
a
what they say.
KC is simply a leader at the bar. A KC is simply a senior counsel, both in terms of long service and in terms of knowledge of the law and being able to represent
But the
clients.
term.
No, I'm coming to that. That is what we have in place now to designate a senior counsel. There is no other term. So what do you do?
In Trinidad is different. It's SC.
Exactly, it's SC. Even in Dominica, it's SC. They moved in Barbados now to senior counsel. So I tell you this, test me. We make this change, the next day, I will be making representation to the authorities to call me not KC anymore, but simply senior counsel.
You're on record, eh? Chris, let me pass over to you.
I mean, I think Dr. Alexis is correct in the sense that, I mean, the change being suggested to the oath of allegiance and the oath of office is a simple one. Moving from the monarchical words to the country. But Doc, explain to people why we don't need to go to a referendum. This forms of the oath is under Schedule 3 of the Constitution. And my understanding, if you fall under Schedule 2, it requires the changes there to go to a referendum based on what you want to change and the extent of the change. But here in Schedule 3, this is just a form of an oath that you're changing some words. Hence, it could be done through Parliament.
Well, let's go to page 5 of the briefing paper. At the top there, you see 5 in bracket?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. So we're reading, and this is section 39 of the Constitution, subsection 5.
Yeah.
And it says here, a bill to alter this section, section 39, schedule 1 to this Constitution, and we can paraphrase all the other lines to say, or any entry in schedule 1. Good. We're moving now to page 6 of the briefing paper. And this is the Schedule 1 to which Section 39, subsection 5 refers.
Right.
So together, 39.5 and Schedule 1 constitute, you may call it the referendum list.
Mm-hmm.
You may call it the VIP list.
Mm-hmm.
I call it, when you combine 39.5 and 1, you get the engine for constitution reform.
Yeah.
And it has two pistons to it, 39.5 and Schedule 1. It is simple. If a provision of the Constitution is mentioned in Schedule 1, its alteration requires referendum approval.
Okay.
Conversely, if an item, a provision of the Constitution, is not mentioned in Schedule 1, its alteration does not require referendum approval. This is so on the wording of the provision, yes? But I go further than that now, and I supply you with authority from the highest court of the land, the Privy Council, giving effect to this, giving effect to the very simple statement that what is mentioned in Schedule 1, that is to say, whatever provision of the Constitution is mentioned in Schedule 1 may not be altered without referendum approval. Conversely, whatever provision of the Constitution is not mentioned in Schedule 1 does not require referendum approval. What does the word mention mean? I walked with my dictionary because 2 weeks ago or so, somebody was calling into the program I was on and telling me that Schedule 3 with the oath is mentioned. Well, I give you a minute. Look through Schedule 1 here. Do you see Schedule 3 mentioned? You're quite right. Yes. Schedule 2 is mentioned. Mm-hmm. Yes. Similarly, Schedule 1 is mentioned in 39.5. And of the 3 schedules to the Constitution, the only one you don't see mentioned in Schedule 1 is the oath in Schedule 3. I have a lot to say about that. Yeah. How long is the program tonight? I don't know.
Not long.
Not long. Good. Yes. So let me speed it up.
A few more minutes.
Yeah.
A few more minutes.
Yeah.
This is not only as it is written here. We have a decision of the highest court of the land giving effect to this. I referred to the case Mitchell and the DPP. You could find it in 1985, 32 West India Report 241, coming from Grenada. What was the issue then? The issue was that the legal system in place in 1983 was not the correct one because the Privy Council was not part of it. And people who were being tried on the Morris Bishop murder could not take the case to the Privy Council. And they said there was never a referendum in Grenada, so you couldn't abolish appeals to the Privy Council. The Privy Council said, away with you. This is what it did. We are still in Schedule 1. We are in Roman numeral 6. You see it there?
Yes.
Chapter 8. This is the chapter of the Constitution on the judiciary.
104.
But not the words in bracket, except Section 104. And it was Section 104 which provided for appeals to the Privy Council. So the Privy Council said, you don't need a referendum to abolish appeals to the Privy Council because Section 104, so to speak, is not mentioned in Schedule 1.
Yeah.
put it the other way, it is mentioned out of
except.
Schedule 1.
It's
So,
interesting.
I take you through the Constitution and I give you the highest authority in the land,
Yeah.
the Privy Council.
Yeah. Doc, what is the response from the government in going forward? Because I think you have adequately, substantially explained this to the nation, your group. But what is the response to the government? Because it's now left to the government to take it through.
Parliament. And
What's the response you're getting from this level? The
The
organization.
CCR has been speaking to the NNP
Yeah.
when Dr. Keith Mitchell was the leader and the leader of the opposition. The right honorable gentleman made it very clear. He said he was not going to play politics with this.
Okay.
He made it very clear. He said, this is not something to play politics with. While I am leader of this party,
Okay.
we support it fully. No questions about it. Not only did he say so, he signed a document prepared by CCR for both the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister to sign up to. Because, understandably,
Yeah.
neither gentleman wanted to go out on a limb with knowing what the other gentleman was doing. So Keith Mitchell said, and his full entourage was with him at the time
Yes.
when he said so. He said, look, I'm not going to play politics with this. It is true, NDC did things to me in the 2 referendums,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do them back.
Okay.
And furthermore, Dr. Mitchell said, he said, when I look at the people on the CCR, I have a sense of confidence they are not a government agency. And that gave him a comfort zone, and he signed. The Prime Minister said the same thing. We gave him a briefing too, just as we gave the opposite. And the Prime Minister asked questions.
Yeah.
For example, he wanted to know what is going to become of the Governor General. Is the Governor General going to be sent into hibernation or something like that? And Honorable Prime Minister, no. And there are precedents to answer your question. Jamaica now has oath of allegiance not to the monarch,
To Jamaica.
but to Jamaica. St. Lucia has oath of allegiance not to the monarch, to St. Lucia.
But they still have a governor
But
general?
they still have a Governor General.
Okay.
St. Vincent, right next door, and the Grenadines, they give allegiance not to King Charles, but to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All the neighbors around us.
So
all,
wait, so wait,
starting in Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Dominica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Belize, they all give allegiance to their respective countries. Belize has a Governor General, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Jamaica.
But someone is asking why you want to leave out the people from the bill. That is the question.
I
That's the
own,
question.
CCR doesn't want to leave out the people. CCR is saying, obey the Constitution.
The highest law in the land.
Comply with the Constitution. So it does not lie in the mouth of any human being pretending to give obeisance to the Constitution and at the same time going against what the Constitution says. Go back to page 6. That's the magic page.
Yeah,
You go to page 6 and you do not see Schedule 3 there. You may think that the framers didn't know what they were doing. But this is the law of the land, the supreme law to boot. So all the CCR is saying, please, Grenadians, honor the Constitution.
Someone asking, would there be any fall or any fallout in relationship between Grenada and England? That's the question.
There was no fallout between England and Jamaica. There was no fallout between England and St. Lucia. There was no fallout between England and St. Vincent. There was no fallout between England and Belize. To say nothing about the republics near us, Trinidad and Tobago. Barbados, when I was growing up in Grenada in the 60s, We used to say Barbados is Little England.
England.
And look, they've gone way ahead of us. They are a republic.
Doc, this has a lot to do with pride. I mean, allegiance to not a foreign body, but to your country.
Of course.
So it is about dignity, it's about self-respect also.
You know, I lived in several countries for
Yeah.
many years, including England. I have never taken out a passport. I have never applied for citizenship. I have never applied for any kind of paper holding in any country other than Grenada. I lived in Trinidad and Tobago for years, Barbados, England. It just never occurred to me.
So what's interesting here, Doc, it doesn't change our relationship with the monarchy at all. It does not. Because someone's asking if England, how England is going to see it. But that's the point. This is very
England
internal.
will see
Chris,
it.
we have to wrap up now. Let me let you have the last
Already?
say with Doc. Yeah.
Let me just say that in my wrap-up, that I don't see the real issue here. If I have to take a oath of allegiance to my country or to an office and replace those words, and it's not required by the Constitution, which is the highest law, as Doc is indicating, that you have to go through a referendum, then what is the issue? And I see the arguments about what have come forward as probably as a result of having referendums before, that we having proposed constitutional changes before that needed referendum that failed.
Yes.
And some people may be thinking that is a similar kind of thing, but it's clear that this Schedule 3 is not under Schedule 1 that requires you to have a referendum. So from where I sit, I see absolutely no difficulty, and I'm proud to say I'm pledging allegiance to my country, state of Grenada.
I couldn't put it better, man.
Yes.
You need to join CCR.
I don't legally qualify.
So that's more or less little, but is the
I'll be
CCR
happy
going to
to.
be coming up with other?
Yes,
Yes,
we
okay,
have
Okay.
other ideas and issues to see.
And CCR is open to membership?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's not only lawyers.
Yeah,
Professor Wendy Grenade, she's a
Yeah.
political
that's
scientist.
correct. Yeah.
I told you about Paul
Yes,
Roberts.
that's correct. Yeah.
He's a media worker.
Yes.
But let me just say again,
Sum up this, Doc, for us.
CCR is very grateful to you two for having us on our program. What is going to change is only moving those 10 monarchical words and putting the word Grenada. Everybody will, I think even England, I think so, will respect us more. I believe that. Everybody will respect us more. So we are in CCR calling upon all Grenadians, even though there is no referendum, and there cannot be a referendum on it because the Constitution does not require a referendum. Nevertheless, we are calling upon all Grenadians to build our patriotism, our self-respect, our dignity as a nation, as a people. 1 second. Ruggles Ferguson was making a point Monday night. The people voting the political directorate, Prime Minister, Ministers, Leader of the Opposition, and they turn around and pledge allegiance to whom? And outside folks, they should be pledging allegiance to us, the people.
That's a good note for us to end on.
Thank you
Doc.
very much.
I also pledge my full support to this initiative.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Nice having me.
Thank you, Doc.
God
Appreciate
bless you.
it. Viewers, that's all the time we have. In fact, we run a bit over time. We thank you very much. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. We thank our technical staff and all MTV management. See you next week, same time. Bye-bye.